What's up, everyone? I'm Des from Deel, and welcome back to Debunked with Deel, where we bring in real industry experts to break down the biggest myths in the working world. This episode is a special one because I got my teammate, fellow social media expert Carly Osterman here with me. Together, we're taking on the wild world of social media and busting the myths that we've heard from the inside. From algorithms to engagement hacks, nothing's off limits. Carly, tell the people a little bit about your social media experience.
Yeah, I've worked in social for about 6 years now. I've worked in an agency setting and in-house, so I've seen some things.
Right, and anybody that's working in the agency setting, I'm calling you an expert for sure.
Yeah.
You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, I know this is a big myth in the social media world. You have to be on every platform to stay relevant.
I think the best platform someone can be on is where your audience is. If you're a retirement home, I don't think you have a place on Blue Sky unless you have a lot of customers there for some reason. I think you really kind of just build your community depending on where you want to be. Like, what would you say?
Sometimes it's about finding which platform works the best for your product, for your company, for your audience, and that's where you focus and grow.
I completely agree.
Boom. The more you post, the faster you grow.
I think it kind of depends. I know with TikTok, a lot of people have seen success with posting more content every day, but I think it really just depends on the type of content you're posting. If you're posting a picture of pizza every day and you're an HR brand, I don't know if that's gonna land well with your audience. So I do think you need some sort of content strategy there, but it kind of depends, and algorithms change, platforms change, it changes every day.
Well, I think you also have to talk about, it's not about the amount of posting as much as it is about being consistent about the posting.
Totally.
Being consistent, that is gonna get you growth faster.
Totally, and it definitely depends on what platforms you're on too, because to crank out a YouTube video every day, that is a lot of production, whereas comparing it to like a post on X, it's probably way smaller of a production. So definitely depends on the team you have.
Going viral is the only way to measure success.
Do you know how many times in my life I've heard make it go viral?
Yeah.
If I had a dime for every time I heard that, we wouldn't be here right now. I'd be on an island.
I'm gonna say this directly to the people that don't work in social. It's not that simple. The stuff that goes viral is usually the video that was a throwaway. The video that you think is gonna be amazing, we put all this work in, put all the money in, and then it does good, but going viral, a lot of times when you talk to people who have done it 2, 3, 4 times, they always seem to say, yeah, this was a video I just kind of put together and it worked.
Yeah.
You know, it's never the one you expect. Like, you agree?
Totally, and like if there was a secret to going viral, you'd be the first person I tell after I make you sign an NDA.
Please.
But not that easy.
If your content is good, the algorithm will take care of the rest.
I've seen a lot of amazing accounts with phenomenal content and they only have like 100 followers. Community building is one of the biggest things in social media, and it takes time to build a brand, to build a platform, your followers and all of that. And so it totally depends on the platform. Some people see overnight success. Some of the biggest influencers today, they've been working at it for years.
Right.
And it is like a long game.
You want to produce good content. I think that's social, that's TV, that's web, but there has to be kind of going back to that consistency basis, right? Because just because it's good, but you only put it out once every 2 months, that's not really going to grab people. That's not going to bring people in. I feel like we're going to be saying that consistency word a lot today.
I think so. I think that's like a key factor here.
Really is. Social doesn't work without it. Social media is just a brand awareness tool.
I think social media is a great tool for brand awareness, but I also think there's so many other factors that go into the entirety of social media marketing. It's a really brilliant tool for community building. People are following your account on purpose because they want to see more of your content. It's one of the only ways you can get directly in touch with your customers.
I'm gonna answer it more from an individual standpoint, right? Like, I like to get news from X sometimes.
Totally.
So I think it's more than just a brand awareness tool. It's a tool for news, it's a tool for comedy.
Huge entertainment factor, and also people are using a lot of these platforms for search engines. Like instead of like Googling best pizzeria in New York, people are going on TikTok or on Instagram.
TikTok taught me is a legit thing.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many amazing content creators nowadays too, apart from businesses. So there's a lot of content out there.
Every employee should be building a personal brand.
I think it's really beneficial to have your own personal brand, especially like us, we work on a team of over 7,000 people. So it's hard to have people know who you are, especially if you don't have some sort of personal brand. I think social media is a really great tool to be able to help build that. I personally don't use like LinkedIn to that ability for mine, but I've seen so many people that have really great accounts and can have so many connections across like the entire field of like HR or just professional connections in general. general. It's a great tool, but I want to know your thoughts on it.
Personal branding can be so many different ways, right? So like, you know, you have your background, the agency and everything. My background is more in the sports world, and I've done, you know, tech world, all this from a social perspective. So for me, like, I know I have an Instagram I use that's basically my digital resume.
Yeah.
Kind of like everything with social, it depends on how you use it, how you build it, and then how you promote it. Right?
Totally, and it totally depends on what field of work you're in. A lot of my creative friends, Instagram's their portfolio.
Right,
That's how they get gigs. LinkedIn, I see a lot of like our sales connections. They are able to build huge communities on there, and it's awesome.
Posting on LinkedIn makes you look like you're job hunting.
I think LinkedIn is a really great networking tool. It's a great way to stay connected with people you've worked with in the past. I really don't think the CEO from my first job wants to be my friend on Instagram.
Right,
I think LinkedIn is a much better place for that. The content you'll be talking about on LinkedIn is usually job specific or career specific. And so I think that is a really great place just for that, whereas like Instagram is more for like personal use. But it kind of just depends on how you use it. I know some people on LinkedIn use it for like sharing more personal life updates and all of that, and they've kind of become an influencer in their own way, but it definitely depends.
I mean, it's not necessarily always job hunting to just be showing the continual growth in your career.
Totally, and I think it opens and fosters those types of discussions.
People only post on social media to brag about themselves.
Do you remember the era of YouTube where everyone had to start a video saying, "In no way am I trying to brag"?
Yeah.
I think there's still some people who post to brag, and I honestly don't think that's a bad thing. It's your own personal account. You can do what you want with it.
Right.
I think some people post to brag, but also I think it's used for so many more things now. With social platforms in general, we're kind of moving out of an era of only influencing. I feel like in the past 10 years, there was so much influencer content.
Right.
We're really just like pushing products.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that was a moment in time for each platform, but I do think we're kind of moving away from that. They always say it's like the de-influencing era.
Yeah.
But each platform has its own like timeline of what it's working with, and it changes every day.
And new people are joining every day. New age groups are joining every day. We even seen, you know, boomers that are being active on socials now more than they've ever been. And you got Gen Zers that are like, actually, I'm kind of good on social.
And definitely by the platform. Like everyone's algorithm obviously is different, but sometimes I get boomer content on TikTok with like 36 likes and I'm like, I built this algorithm. I don't know why I'm getting this on my feed right now, but I love it.
If you're not active on social media, you're falling behind professionally.
I think it kind of just depends on like what you're using each platform for. It totally depends too, like from a business standpoint. I've seen a lot of restaurants that go viral on like Instagram, but then they have thousands of people come in 1 month and like they're not able to keep up with the volume.
Exactly.
It totally depends on the business that you have and
the business
like
model and what you want that growth to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Your team should be reposting all company content.
I love that extra boost of engagement in there. I think everyone should be able to post in their own voice. That's kind of what the algorithm loves, like original content from people. Whenever we have like a really big launch, a company news or anything like that, we do share like what the company is gonna post with our teammates, but we always encourage post in your own voice, like make it your own. But I also don't think they need to repost everything. I think it is totally up to them.
Right. I think it's about finding what you relate to as an employee. Yeah, big news. From the social team, please keep supporting us. We work hard. Please support us, man. Please repost our stuff. But not everything has to have this big level of support, because some things are we're just putting it out there. Yeah. You know, just so it's known. One bad post can ruin your brand overnight.
I think it takes a really long time to build a brand.
The trust in the brand too.
Yes, and it could take one mistake to ruin it overnight. We've seen it in the past with brands. There's so many people that work to build a brand. There's so many hours that are put in. And it is crazy how like one little campaign or one post can really reverse all that work.
You gotta be careful. Now, I don't think that just an unfunny tweet or something that just wasn't good.
Humor is subjective.
It's subjective, exactly. But when you start pushing those cultural boundaries, you gotta keep the respect level at all the way through.
Totally. And even with like overall marketing campaigns, sometimes you see them and you're like, how many people did this have to go through to get approved? And for it to still go out is crazy.
You need strict rules to control what employees post about the company.
I think it's always nice to have guidelines for people, but at the end of the day, it is their personal accounts and they can kind of post whatever they'd like. I think if their accounts are directly affiliated with the brand, you probably want to have a few more guidelines showing them and guiding them in the right way for that. It kind of depends, and it depends on what platform it is on too. Like if it's LinkedIn and they're posting a ton of content that's like directly representing the brand, then it's a little more sensitive, but if it's their personal Instagram account and it's on private, there's nothing like that serious.
Brands should never take a stance on social issues. It's too risky.
I think that depends on your brand. If you're a brand that has always included philanthropy, then I think there are certain topics that go right along with that.
Right.
If you work with animals or anything like that, obviously you're probably going to be very like pro animal everything.
Right.
So
is it risky? Sure. But are you taking a smart risk? Right. So there are certain brands, there's an ice cream brand that I love that gets on social and they stand 10 toes down on what they're standing for. Agree, disagree with them. They believe in what they're saying and they stand with it consistently, right? I think that's the key. If you're gonna have those conversations, if you're gonna stand for, social issues or whatever it may be, you can't halfway in, halfway out with it. And I think that's where that's where the risk starts to come in.
Totally, just being consistent with your messaging from the very beginning.
Right. Making your post go viral is the easy part. We kind of jumped in on that earlier, but
I wish it was easy.
No.
I mean, if you are boosting it and putting a ton of money behind it, that might be a way to go viral. But I don't know, it's one of those things. It has to be the right timing, it has to hit the right people. It's not as easy as it seems. Full props to the people that make it look easy. Because if it looks easy, then they did their job. And a lot of these brands, if they've been around for a while, they have a really great content strategy in place. So they know what works on their channels and they know what works with their audience. So yeah, you kind of have it down once you figure that out.
Doing popular trends always works.
It totally differs depending on what type of business you are. I don't know if you're on that part of TikTok where they throw a beer at their boss. I've seen this with multiple restaurants.
I've seen people kind of throw water.
No, they throw a beer and they have their manager tell them what beer it is. They'll throw it from 10 feet away and then they'll be like, Bud Light. I don't think we could do that.
I don't know if Alex is going for that.
It just in general, it's so far-fetched for us. It has nothing to do with our brand.
Exactly.
So, I mean, sometimes it works depending on what the trend is. Remember when Black Beatles, when that was a whole trend?
Yeah.
That was something that people could jump in on because
almost
everyone was doing it. And nowadays, there's so many things that go viral at all times and on different people's algorithms. What goes viral on yours does not go viral on mine.
Right.
And so it's really hard to see when something becomes a trend for everyone, especially on a global perspective since we are a global brand. But no, I don't think it works for everyone to do every single trend.
And also maybe even building a social team that has diversity in the socials.
Definitely.
Because we talk about it all the time. Our algorithms are nowhere near each other. It's the stuff that I show you, the stuff you show me, I'm like, I've never seen that before, right? And vice versa. But that gives us the opportunity to find more trends that might translate. Campaigns with a low number of likes is a fail.
If your only goal for the campaign was to have a high number of likes, then yes, it's a fail. But I don't know, when you're typically setting goals for a campaign, you're gonna measure it on a bunch of different things. It can be engagement rate, it can be clicks, so many different things you can measure success on. So I wouldn't say likes necessarily, because likes are kind of a vanity metric anyway.
Right, absolutely. Memes aren't a real content strategy. That's your world for sure.
Ever since I was a little girl, I knew I wanted to make memes. It definitely depends on the type of business you are and the type of content pillars that you're setting for your company. For us, corporate humor is something we really lean into and our audience really loves it and resonates with it. So it is part of our strategy. Right. But for a hospital, maybe it's more serious.
Right.
It definitely just depends on the business and the brand.
I agree with you. It's one of those things where if you use it the right way, you build again for your audience and your brand, it is a content strategy. Yeah. It is something that brings people's attention. So.
And it definitely depends on the type of meme it is, of course. If it's just a random meme on your page, it might not connect with your audience correctly.
You talk about how amazing Wendy's has done with their stuff.
I think they were a moment in time where they really kicked off how brands could really lean into that, you know? And they kind of paved the way for a lot of brands to be something else other than just promoting a product all the time.
They made a mixtape. That was dope. TikTok is the only platform that really matters.
I think it depends on what audience you're trying to reach. I think if you're marketing something that's just for elderly people, I don't think they're on TikTok.
Right.
I think TikTok is really great to reach a lot of audiences, a lot of millennials, Gen Z. At the same time, I don't think people on that platform want to look at content about super heavy stuff. Attention spans these days are so slim that you have to get people's attention in the first 3 seconds of a video. So it definitely depends on the messaging and the type of post you're creating and who you're trying to reach.
Follower count is the most important metric.
I remember a time where you could spend $5 and you get 10,000 followers on Instagram and Twitter. Personally, I would say one of the most important metrics is engagement because it's showing that the people who are following you and actually like your content and they're telling you directly by giving you a like, a comment, a share.
This kind of falls back almost to where we talked about the likes thing. I don't think there's any specific metric that's the most important. The follower count, likes, put it all together and then come up with the story there.
If follower count's the only important thing, I'm gonna go spend $20 and
No,
we're gonna hit
seriously.
our goals for next quarter and the quarter after.
I got 5 on it. Social media isn't real work.
I have an
I've heard that.
existential crisis about this like every other week.
Yeah.
Like my grandma grew up on a farm in Thailand. To compare my work to the work that she was doing,
Right.
it's not comparable. But it's one of those things these days, social media is an insane tool. You can grow a community on it. You can get leads from it. There's so many different things that you can do on social nowadays that there's so much also like work that goes into it. We're setting a content strategy. We're setting our specific goals that we want to reach.
It is real work because it's making an impact on the company, on the brand.
And it's a great marketing channel to get directly in touch with your followers and customers.
Anyone can do social media.
I think anyone can do it. It won't be good for
Right.
some people.
Right.
I mean, like my mom using social media and running like a corporate business account, I don't know about that. Like I said, anyone probably could, but it won't be on like the scale that you and I expect it to be, especially
Right.
as people who work in the industry. And there's so many different factors of social. Like don't even get me started on the paid side because I could never do that. Shout out
Right.
to our paid team because they're
Seriously.
wonderful.
Yeah,
I could
It's a whole
never.
different language.
There's so many things that go into creating good social content. We have amazing copywriters, we have videographers, editors, graphic designers. Not everyone can do it, I wouldn't say, no.
Hashtags are a thing of the past.
I think they're still widely used on specific platforms. I see them a lot for like events, and honestly, like if I'm getting like outfit inspo for like a festival, obviously I'm gonna click on the hashtag and do it that way. And even on LinkedIn, if there's something we're looking into, we're gonna use a hashtag. They're definitely not like they used to be. I feel
Right. I don't think they hold the same weight they used to have,
No.
for sure.
Like on Twitter, people used to hashtag like everything. The algorithm too, it changes like based on the platform you're on as well.
Right.
Like some of them might not favor you putting 30 hashtags in your post like it used to.
Every brand should make videos.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I think
Right.
a lot of platforms are pushing more video content, but I think if you don't have the right production behind some videos, then they're not gonna do well. If you're a one-person team for a small business, like you probably do not need to be spending your time trying to shoot video content.
Right.
I think if you have the team and the production behind it, video is a really good format for a lot of accounts and brands, but it depends.
All platforms stay the same.
They change every day. Algorithms change every day. Just look at Twitter/X. That's changed so much just
Right.
in the past couple of years.
Right.
Even Instagram, like what it first started as versus what it is now. Like I remember when Threads launched and we basically had to create a whole new strategy
Yeah.
to include that platform. But yeah, it changes every day and like there's new product features. There's so many new things and your strategy should definitely change depending on what platforms have going on.
What works on TikTok will also work on Reels. That's a funky one, right?
Yeah.
Because technically, yes, right? Again, it goes back to that, what are you trying to accomplish?
I also think like it's not the same audience sometimes. Like there might be people who only use Reels and there's some people who only use TikTok. And so you're gonna be hitting different people depending on what platforms they're on. It is also one of those things with the algorithm. It's like you might get a post that hits and like takes off on TikTok and then on Reels it might not hit.
Once you find a social media strategy that works, you should stick with it. I think we kind of just talked about this. It's strategy has to adjust based on how social adjusts.
Definitely, and like even we see it at Deel all the time. Like we launch new products often,
Right.
And so your audience changes. Like we launched Deel IT, I think a year ago, and before we probably didn't have anyone following us for anything IT, but now we have that whole new division of the company, and so our audience has changed because we're creating more content around that. As your company grows also and your brand evolves, like you're definitely going to want to adjust your strategy too.
All companies should use AI for their content creation.
I think AI can be a really great tool, but you have to know how to use it correctly. It can't replace like the human factor, especially from like content creators that have their own individual voice and like spin on content. And I don't think AI can replicate that, at least not right now.
Right.
But I think it can be a really useful tool. I think social, one of the biggest things for it in general, it's just about connecting with others.
Yeah.
And also like you can kind of tell when people are only using AI for like copywriting. I mean, there's so many new AI tools these days too that can be used. To use them the best way is to like help you with your work. Like it shouldn't be replacing you or any of your other teammates or anything like that.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Debunked with Deel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Carly, how you feel?
I feel great. Do you want to make a TikTok after this?
No, I don't.
Okay.